Hello out there to you. In this problem, we're going to solve for aggregate expenditure, aggregate output, or income. It's all called the same thing. Sometimes it's just called Y star. We're basically solving for what this economy is going to produce given this little mathematical model. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to find R. Okay, R is real interest rate. Okay, so R is important because R shows up here, and we need to have R. Ultimately, what we're trying to solve for is an equation where Y or Y star equals C plus I plus G plus exports minus imports. Or really, this is the value of the exports minus the value of the imports. This is often called net exports. So in a not as mathy course, this shows up quite a bit. Well, the thing is that in the real world, I, and to a lesser extent C and G, are dependent on what R is. This is this whole interest rate situation. Okay, so if we're going to solve this little model here and figure out what Y star is or what the economic output of the economy is, we need to figure out what R is. So that's pretty easy. R is going to happen where money supply equals money demand. Okay, so money supply 800, and then we're just going to plug in money demand 1,000 minus 2,000 equals R. Okay, so we'll subtract both sides by 800, and we're going to add 2,000 R to both sides. That'll make this side disappear. We'll end up with 2,000 R over here. Then we're going to subtract 800 from here. That makes that go away. Subtract 800 from here. It's 200. And R is 200 divided by 2,000, which is 0.1, or in how people talk terms, 10%. Okay, so we know that the interest rate in this economy is 10%. Pretty high, but whatever, that's what we're working with. All right, so now we can actually plug that in here, and this will give us investment. Okay, that's probably how I would do this. So we've got 500 minus 1,000 times 0.1. So this would be 100. So we basically have 400 as our investment function, okay? Or our investment level, rather. Um, so, so then, what else do we need to know? We're pretty good here. What we need to know is what is disposable income. So disposable income, I'll just write that right here. That's what the D stands for. It's not a very good Y. Okay. YD is Y, so the income level in the whole economy, minus taxation. We know taxation, so we can actually just plug that in there, and we're ultimately solving for a level of Y. Let's see here. This government has a balanced budget because it's spending 400 and it's bringing in 400 in taxes. So notice it says frugal. That's what that means. It's got a balanced budget, and it doesn't seem to be borrowing from the rest of the world. Okay. Could be good, could be bad. We're not passing judgment. We're just solving algebraically. Okay, so let's just start plugging stuff in that we know. So y. So I'm doing all of this up here. Okay, so we know y. Now we need to know c. So it's 1,000 plus 0.6. 0.6 is what we're going to call the MPC. Marginal propensity to consume. So it is the change in spending based on the change in disposable income. Okay, so we're going to take 0.6, so now we're just plugging in this formula right here. And we actually know T, so T is going to be 400. Okay, so again, it's C plus I. So this is C plus I, and we already solved for I with that interest rate, so it'd be 400. And then we're going to solve, or we're told government spending is 400 plus exports, which is 600, minus imports, which is 400. And now we're pretty much ready to go here. We've got 1,000. Those two guys will cancel out. That's another 1,000. So we're just adding up everything. So it would be 2,000 and then 2,000. I guess we can just write it not to get too doing math in my head here. Plus 0.6y plus what is 400 times 0.6 or 60% times 400? I don't know. So it's 240. Okay, so 240, that's actually minus, so it's a mistake there. Fix it with the eraser. Okay, so then we're going to subtract 0.6 from both sides. So we've got 0.4y, and then this right here is 1760. Okay, because it's this and this. Now we're going to divide both sides by 0.4, and we get some number. 1760 divided by 0.4 is 440. Okay, 440. Sorry, 4,400 rather. Sorry, 440. 4,400. Okay, so 4,400 is the answer. That is the answer that that we get here. Now, if interest rates were to rise, okay, it gets more expensive to borrow, we could predict the Y star is going to fall. Okay, so like if this level of output is too high, we'd want to raise interest rates, and that'll cause this. It'll cause this number to fall, and it'll cause this number to fall. Okay. If this spending was like not enough, so like let's say that Y full employment or Y full employment output level was like 6,000, then we would want to lower our interest rates. And the way we would do that is by just increasing the money supply. So if you increase this number, just to give you an example of that, let's say I changed it from 800 to 1,200. I'm just going to resolve. Money supply now is 1,200. And then money demand doesn't change, or at least it doesn't in my example. I'm going to solve for R. So we'll send this guy over here. Ooh, it's going to be a negative. I've gone into negative interest rate world. Theoretically, not likely, but it did happen in Europe. Negative 200 here. So then R, wow, so I increased it so much that it would be negative 0.1, okay, or negative 10%. So that would be pretty extreme, basically charging customers to put their money in the bank, get them to pull it out and spend it. Okay, so that's how to solve for, it has a lot of names. That's what kind of makes this hard, depending on what your class is calling it, but we can call it aggregate output or aggregate income in this problem.